Hi, today is about 3D printing, and this is what I call my scattergun. Now at the moment it's on steel rails, but I've got some aluminium rails to make it super light. But it was my TRX4 Sport. It's now on scattergun rails and it's gone completely custom, axle mounted servo, 3D printed gearbox, which is proving to be amazing. Putting 20% overdrive in the gearbox and then having the standard Traxxas under an overdrive just means it latches onto anything it's trying to crawl, and hasn't exploded yet, although it is quite noisy, but it's plastic, of course it's going to be noisy. 3D printed wheels, this is my latest version. I've tested them with a hammer, so I went at them just to make sure that they won't shatter. They probably still will shatter, but they're prototypes, so we'll just see how that goes. But they're 30 grams a wheel, including the hardware for the wheel, the ring, and the bolts to hold it together. So that's pretty cool. That's about 40 grams lighter than the lightweight beadlocks I use, and probably 100 grams lighter than most people's wheels per corner, which is amazing. So I'm just going to pop this down. This, without giving future videos away too much because I'm not sure what order I'll edit them in, this is my G500. This is now a scattergun as well, so I can't call that one my scattergun. I'll have to come up with the name of it. If you've got a name, stick it in the comments. I mean, it's got this horrendous shell and someone's already referred to it as the Tonka toy, so that name might stick, but it's a Dodge Ram shell. This is the G500. This is now on scattergun rails, but it's running the standard skid and the standard accessory sliders. And the problem with these is, well, they're a bit bendy and they've got lots of areas to hang up. So I have decided to design and print my own. And the reason for these ones is, if I can find one of my batteries, they fit my batteries perfectly. So I can put a battery on the slider on each side to keep the battery weight super low, but get the full 4,000 milliamps, 4,500 milliamps out of the batteries without having to run quite a large battery down the middle. But that did cause a few problems. My 2-speed isn't working because the battery tray was just catching on it, and the diffs have gone for a completely different reason, nothing to do with 3D printing. But it does mean that I'm running the TRX lumpy bumpy belly underneath, and even though I've tried things like raising up the bolts and trying to remove how much it hangs out, it still hangs out and the motor is very high. So I got busy with the CAD software and designed my own skid. Now, I haven't smashed this with a hammer yet because this one's for fitting purposes, although probably what I'll do is fit it and then give it a runabout and test it. It's got angled entry points so that it doesn't snag on any rocks front and back. It actually takes the transmission, raises it up and angles it so that the motor tunnel doesn't hit the axles when you're running your truck super low. So the problem with the TRX gearbox is you've got your gearbox casing and your front drive shaft will catch on it. So that'll be interesting. Also moves the motor underneath the gearbox to really get that weight down low, and I'm about to find out if it actually fits. So I'm going to pull this truck apart, get this in, get my sliders on, jiggle around the electronics. I think I've got some balloons somewhere to put the electronics in. It's going to be a fun job because previously you might have seen me put a load of grease inside this receiver to stop it from getting water ingress. So yeah, that's all going to get cleaned up. But yeah, 3D printing. If you've got the time and the patience, which I have neither, but somehow managed to get through it, you can do some crazy things in the hobby without having to have a machine shop. You just need a 1/2 metre by 1/2 metre cube of space to have a printer and lots and lots of filament. To get to this point with this skid and the gearbox and the wheels, I think I've gone through 5 kilos of plastic with all the prototypes and tests, and for a set of parts that combined weighs about 250 grams. That's a lot of wastage. Right, well, it's all finished and didn't get any of it on camera. To be honest, it's taken me about 3 hours because I had to do some custom links. But this is my truck. Now, yes, this is a low CG truck, and so you might be thinking, why is the receiver box on the top? That's because the sliders went on really well, and now I can run 2 batteries, and my batteries weigh a lot more than this receiver box, so I get a lot of low down weight, and in fact the batteries are the same height as the motor, and that's really cool. I had to do a load of custom... Ooh, lost a battery. I had to do a load of custom links to get this skid to fit, so the front links are actually quite short, but I do like short links on the front. It stops you catching the links so much, and you have a lot more skid area to slide on. I've even drilled this skid, because I printed it 100% infill, to get the diffs, the locking diff servos on there. The cable for the front locking diff servo is kind of tucked around the motor, but the motor is super low, to the point that I need to just double check everything, because the can might end up acting like a rock slider. That said though, while the motor is super low, the truck's centre of gravity has dropped quite significantly, even with the receiver box on the top. But the transmission's raised up, but as the truck's gone lower, the axles are a bit higher, so that's quite nice. Pinion angles are quite cool. I've noticed that the Traxxas axles get a bit stiff, so I'm just going to loosen those off a bit. But yeah, I actually managed to design a skid that seems to work, and in fact, hopefully the glue's set now. I've actually lost the adapter that I used to run 2 Dean's batteries, so I'll just use one, and I'll make another adapter tomorrow. Turn this on, turn the receiver on, and that's the truck driving over tools and whatever's on the bench with its newfound super high clearance, super low CG skid. That's about it really. So yeah, not quite the end of the video I guess. I decided to redesign the skid to use the stock long links, because I wanted people who are downloading it from the Thingiverse and buying it from Shapeways, links below, to be able to install this with the minimum of effort. The only thing that you'll need to do is come up with a creative solution for your upper link, and my upper link's like this curvy link. That upper link on the front is there to just stop the wheels from moving side to side, so it can be curved, it can go round your motor. The longer links mean that the drive shaft's got a bit more protection. I've managed to get the pinion angles right. This skid does raise your drive shafts quite a bit, so when your truck's nice and low you've got flat drive shafts, which is absolutely fantastic. And I've put the electronics box in a balloon and got rid of, I've chucked them down, got rid of the servos for the front and rear diffs for now, because I'm going to service those when I replace the axles with hardened steel kit that's in the post. Truck feels absolutely amazing, suspension is spot on. Those links just mean it's got nice long links. You know, they might catch a little bit, but the extra clearance is fantastic. I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm not bragging. I'm really proud of myself for actually getting this to work. So yeah, all the stuff's on Thingiverse. The gearbox will be going on Thingiverse soon. Might even be on there by the time this video is out. I'm going to do another video where I decide to build my 3D printed shell. So catch you next time. Cheers.